Personnel log for crew member Max Ina. Entry 10-38. It's been a rough week, but our mission to the Beholder homeworld was ultimately a success. Yaush underwent ceremorphosis, but Cece's intervention with the blank tadpole allowed him to become a mind witness without losing his personality. After our fight within the realm of dreams, he finally agreed to the idea of peace talks. I'm still surprised that after everything, he's willing to come to the same table as Drake is. Surprised, but thankful that he was open to that option. The mission was not without complications. Cece's getting some prosthetics fashioned by Beaufort for her arm, while Trizzy is practically doing better than when we set out. At the very least, Mathers seemed to turn out just fine as well. As for me, while Dr. Joven and the rest of the medical team say that I haven't suffered any physical injuries, my legs just don't feel right after all of that. At least I can still move. At least I'm back here on the Resubian with Cammy. Maybe it's because of the injury, the radio silence we had during our mission, or just the impending state of the peace talks, but I finally did it. I asked Cammy to get married. While a conventional wedding wasn't the first thought I had for how to handle this, the crew seems really on board with making that kind of ceremony happen, even with all the work we're doing to get ready for the negotiations. Mom has even made it a point to be here for the wedding. That'll be a handful to deal with, but it was her idea for me to propose to Cammy out here in the first place. While part of my mind is wondering just how the peace talks and everything else will pan out, most of my thoughts are just focused on Cammy, on this union that we're finally making official in front of all of our friends out here. Honestly, it's nice that we're even able to have this chance, so why not take it? In any case, I better get going. There's still plenty to get ready before the ceremony and not much time to get it done.
Oh my god, the viral marketing campaign for Resubian is so great. We got national coverage with those people we snuck into Congress to say that the aliens have been found.
That's right.
Great timing.
I thought my prosthetics were very convincing.
If you take the first letter from every sentence said during those talks, it's quite a glowing review for Resubian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've been really blitzing all the papers. Between the release of Baldur's Gate 3 and the aliens reveal, I feel like we're doing a great job promoting our Mind Flayer-centric season of the show. So shout out to the PR team, which is
that's right,
Professor Peanuts and Bjork, the cats.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, yeah.
Any other notes before we start?
I'm still just trying to formulate stuff in my head to kind of paint the scene that's before us here. So I'm just like,
So against all odds, the final arc of Resubian is going to come down to Peace Talks 2 Electric Boogaloo. We're going to do it again this time, but with all of the participants in the galaxy. It's going to be Drakus representing the Mind Flayers, Admiral Grice representing the Progressive Illithids, Yaush representing the Beholders, and then someone representing the Surlon, who are the aliens behind the Formith technology. But it's going to take a while for them all to get together. You know, you have to talk about security arrangements, you got to get in contact, you got to negotiate, and Captain Slactumeel is doing all that in the background, but it's going to take a bit. So there's time for one final downtime in Season 10, which is what we're doing today. I genuinely don't know how this is going to go. It's possible you all just negotiate peace, and the ending is everyone shaking hands and clapping. Like it's like the end of Evangelion. It's just congratulations.
Austin, as someone who helped DM half of this season, I guarantee that won't happen. Someone will decide to shoot someone for no fucking reason 2 minutes in, and everything will go sideways. There is no way we as a group of people will just have a conversation. Mm-hmm. I don't believe in us.
I'm expecting there to be a fun complication, but I don't know what it is. We're just gonna have all these characters talk and then see what happens. We're just gonna
Laura's tip in her hand. She's gonna be the one who shoots someone in the face.
I just think of the history of like scenarios where someone's like, okay, this is a fight you're going to have to do. You can't weasel out of it, resulting in talking it out and subverting the fight. And then the inverse of we're on a peace mission turning into just a slaughterhouse happening there.
How's about this? Everyone, I'll tell you in advance, I'm gonna be the one in the party that shoots someone for no reason and causes chaos. Hopefully that takes the desire to do it away from all of you, because you know someone's gonna cause the chaos. And I'll definitely do it.
A double bluff. But yeah, when Laura handed me Yoush, I was like, oh yes, the villain of the season has arrived. And then you all went, on a 5-episode journey to get win over Yoush. So now he's just going to be put another person at the table talking about, space politics. So
yeah, I really thought his brain would have been eaten by a tadpole by now.
I mean, it just wasn't the tadpole I was expecting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what we're doing now is you all are going to have Cammy and Max's wedding. And so I'm going to cede the floor for everyone to paint a word picture here. This is like a big event that's going to go out through the entire episode. We're going to, break out into kind of aside scenes as people, leave the party or the reception or, do their own thing. But that's like the backdrop of this whole episode is this wedding. And then it's going to end with everyone arriving for the peace talks on the neutral ground of the spaceship Resubian. And then literally next episode is just going to be that talks and the fallout. It could be the final episode next week. I don't know. So that's genuinely where we are. How do you all picture this? What is your dream wedding?
Blood fountain.
Blood fountain. Blood fountain.
There's a fountain of blood. Giant blood fountain.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Of course there is. Yeah. The question is it just one fountain or is there a few fountains that are scattered about?
If it depends on what the cost and like sort of availability is, if it's many that are just okay or one really, really fucking cool one, it's just going to be the one cool one.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, we have plenty of space for the big one. And of course, the seating you got to be careful. It's kind of the splash zone for the blood fountain. You just don't want to get, unless you want that, right? If that's the experience you want.
Oh, this is what entertains the kids.
Oh, I was going to say a Chuck E. Cheese ball pit.
I was trying to work out why there would be a blood fountain on this spaceship, and then I was like, oh yeah, it's an ice cream spaceship. This is usually an ice cream fountain, and we just got all the ice cream out. It's like, okay, chuck the blood in, there we go.
Mm-hmm. Right. It normally was strawberry syrup. Now it's just blood, and Mathers is having the time of their life,
just rolling around in it, contaminating it completely. It's like a child at the Golden Corral getting into the chocolate fountain.
Austin, you don't drink from the blood fountain. It's decor.
No one told Mathers.
Especially after Math.
No, that's fine. He's allowed to. But I just want to know, you say like contaminating it, like no one else was going in there.
Yeah.
This is something to marvel at.
I would assume that there are maybe there might be some blood lilies or other appropriate flowers decorating the perimeter of the blood fountain. Max got to have their flowers involved and stuff like that. I still need to think of like what they're wearing. That's been troubling me for the past infinity. Is like, what would they wear at the wedding? I'll get back to that on that.
I mean, I'm imagining the opening montage showing all of the areas we visited, spruced up in some way. So, like, there's a shot of, like, the gym full of flowers and a shot of, life support with all of the trays of, like, food and stuff getting ready. I don't know, just, like, the bird's eye view.
Oh, gosh, the life support.
The whole ship.
The life support buffet.
There's a shot of Yoush in Dot's room putting on a beholder suit.
It's a little tux.
I like to think it's just a suit that hangs from the bottom of their body.
Oh, I love that we invented the beholder tux.
Well, they're wearing. You can also say they have a bow holder on, so they can wear that. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, golden monocle. That's it.
Golden monocles. Golden monocles. Yes, that'd be great. Ooh.
Ooh, if you Google beholder tuxedo, there is in fact a drawing of a beholder wearing a tuxedo, but they have like a human body. Shout out to this artist, is the only person to have previously thought of this combination of words.
Yes.
Oh, good, very good. Yeah, there's also one where it looks like they have like just a little thing wrapped around their body with a bow tie on it, and a sleeve for each of the eye stalks. That's a pretty good one as well. But
What
yeah,
if-
like
A beholder had the Sharingan.
Well, I think each eye would have one of those magical eye powers, right?
Yeah.
I know this is Naruto, but I don't really know what it means. I'm only vaguely aware of this Sharingan.
Perfect.
It's the eye that the emo kid had. Did magic shit.
My girlfriend has this really old squirrel stuffed animal that lost an eye, and she keeps pestering me to get a Sharingan like eye thing from Etsy so I can sew it on to replace the eye.
Hell yeah.
Yaush did undergo a transformation into a mind witness, so he looks really different now. There's nothing in the rulebook that says he can't have Naruto eyes on the end of his stalks.
Oh my god, every single eye is a different Naruto magic eyeball.
no,
There's like
there's
12.
So many kinds of magic eyeballs you could have. We would be fucked. There's no beating someone with all the Naruto eyes.
No, oh my god. Like half of them are redundant, but yeah, once he has all of them, he's unstoppable.
One of them is the Millennium Eye from Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh my god, there's so many great eyes.
that is.
That's really been the theme of the season.
Trying to think of another montage. I think would be probably just getting the outfits figured out. They're like Max and Cammy are out clothes shopping effectively, or whatever is the equivalent of the on-ship tailor, but they're not allowed to see each other while they're picking out their outfits and such. That sort of standard procedure.
I'm glad you brought up the fashion because we have established in one throwaway aside that there is a tailor on board. Janet, the fashion bug. The Uchalon is the name of this alien. It's we
nice.
very
Sweet.
briefly mentioned Janet the Uchalon previously, so we definitely need her. Sizing you up for your clothes or whatever. Big tape measure, checking your inseam, and once again, she is a kind of large, almost lobster-esque illithid creature who is constantly like sweating green slime. If you've ever seen an Uchalon, they're incredible. But yeah. She is like kind of like a crab ooze thing. And so just like, marvelous, darling. Yes. It's just low key, an incredible background character.
Now, if I needed to listen to a story she was telling, would she be an escuchalon?
What are you doing, Quinn?
My ADD's really wild today.
Yeah, we all understand that joke.
I was trying to figure out a way to get to Muchalon as a joke as well. Like I lost the thread there, so I'm just going to drop that and move on there.
Quinn discovered the power of drugs, and now she's unstoppable.
Speaking about being unstoppable, one of the things I was curious about was like who would be like like leading the proceedings, like who'd be like officiating the ceremony and all that stuff. Would it be like someone? Like one thought was like maybe it'd be Cecilia to do it.
Well, if the love boat is true, the captain of the ship gets to do it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think traditionally the captain has the power to marry people, but also if you are a saint, presumably you're also ordained to perform marriages, so everything's on the table.
Yeah, so I'd like to think someone's like, wait, are you actually like anointed or anything like that? Like, I'm a saint, so I assume somewhere.
I got anointed sometime in my history, so sure, why not?
I was trying to picture how Trizzy would host a wedding ceremony, and I think Trizzy would just start with marriage is kind of like welding two pipes together.
While you're wearing your formal Iron Man suit.
Exactly. You know, it's about taking two separate things and making sure that they are forever sealed together.
And then when they put on their wedding bands, you then ask them to bring their hands together so you can weld them together. You know.
Yeah.
And now the hands.
Did
are
anyone
stuck
bring
together.
the solder?
Anyone bring the solder kid who just brings the solder on a little pillow down the aisle?
Yeah, Trizzy legitimately pitched this. The pitch was made.
The only reason I think Max would probably be like, would be concerned about their fur being singed in the middle of that process. It's like,
Okay, fine.
Cake the size of an elder brain, in the shape of an elder brain.
but what is the cake made out of?
Are there different cakes for different dietary needs? Because we have a bunch of different weird aliens here who need different things. So is that the tradition? Is that there's like 6 different cakes? Or is it, the different layers of the cake?
Oh gosh,
Different layers, which makes cutting it incredibly difficult.
yes. Yeah, you have the gluten-free layer, you have the sugar-free layer, you have the cruelty-free layer. The one of the layers is
The
cruelty-free.
pus layer.
Yeah, the pus layer. Yeah.
I don't know why they put it in the middle. It really ruins every other layer around it.
It is also right next to the custard layer, and thus making it very hard to
man.
determine.
Can I add a request? There's also no ice cream at this function. Not an intentional choice, just weirdly, no one remembered to get any, so it's just weirdly absent from this moment.
Yeah, you have the pus layer, the custard layer, the pustard layer, but no ice cream layer, so...
In the corner, Ophelia, the representative of the Lickums Company, glaring darkly, just clipboard in hand, writing something down.
I don't think we would have invited HR.
Human resources would not approve of 2 employees marrying during work hours, so we just decided to not invite them.
Yeah, this is actually a secret, and like a bird, we just threw a blanket over Ophelia's head, and they thought it was nighttime, and they just went to sleep.
I like to think that the wedding cake flavor ice cream on the ship is just a trap, because as soon as someone gets it, it's like someone having a wedding on company time. Ooh.
Oh gosh, they have a tracking thing on there.
It doesn't distribute anything. You pull the lever and it's like, oh, nope, no weddings here, get out.
Yeah.
Did Max and Cammy get a gift registry?
Oh, absolutely. They definitely have a gift registry. I'm not sure what they put as requests on there. I'm pretty sure that part of Cammy's list is a bunch of like models that she wants to put together for her room and stuff, like little like mech and ship models and stuff like that, so that she wants to build and paint and all that.
All right, yeah, Beaufort's getting that. Then that's about on brand.
I was gonna say, like, the reason why the birthday ice cream flavor gets messed up because in order to use it, you have to log onto the VDN, the virtual dairy network, in order to access it, and that's how they track you.
There's caricature artists.
Oh, of course, it's scary. Like, I like to think of like, all the things that you'd have at like in an amusement park or on the dock somewhere, like on the bay. Like, you'd have all those types of things happening. So there's a balloon. There's like someone making balloon creatures and stuff like that. Caricature artists. There's like other carnival games being had just because it's a way to kind of appease things in the lead up there. There's a bouncy castle somewhere. Of course there is.
The Greys were invited, but they keep getting turned away from the door because the security guards keep forgetting that they're allowed to come in.
They see the Greys, they look at the registry, see the name, forget the Greys are there, look up, see the Greys, who are you? And then it just loops infinitely.
Or as we've established, their names have changed since they were added to the guest list.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
you mishear the name once, and now the name's like, oh no, now my name is something that isn't on the list. Fuck.
Yeah, that joke is happening in the background of like every shot throughout the entire episode. It's just the Greys trying to deal with people not remembering them.
It basically requires Bridget or Cammy or someone else like grabbing the Grey and just saying, no, they're with me, and pulling them in order to get them in. Trying to think of any other I don't think anyone from like I don't think we'd have time to get anyone from like Tsukiyama or any of the other locations to show up. Possibly, I mean, maybe the lycanthropy scientists, the suck scientists, were able to make it out or stuff like that.
Everything's on the table. Yeah, this takes anywhere from a couple days to a week or so. I don't know how long it takes to actually arrange peace talks during a civil war. I assume a bit. So unless someone suggests something extremely out there, I think everything is pretty much available for this end of campaign celebration.
Live music by Crunk Tuggins.
No, what was that band we made up in like episode 2? Fuck.
The Big Blopper?
The Big Blopper. Yes, please. Let the Big Blopper perform.
Yeah. I feel like a wedding and international peace talks are the exact opposite ends of the spectrum of trying to get people to a place on a date. Because a wedding, you say that date and everyone has to drop everything they're doing in their life to be there. Peace talks, I'm sure every delegation is like arguing about the date, not even because they want the date to move, but because they want to feel like we had some say in when it happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's one of those things, like you said, like it's like people will find a reason to avoid peace talks, but weddings are just like, it's committed. We have to shift reality itself to make time for this. So.
Yeah, so I think we definitely want to say the Greys are there, the Suck Scientists are there, just random people from the first peace talks. Like everyone we've run into, it's Game Master Anthony. Everyone's there, runs in and gives us a big hug.
I'm not thinking that like Mathers would be the type to tie like cans to the back of Max's Ard Runner, the little hover bike, so that it just rattles around when Max is riding around. It's like the whole like just married thing for later on. Makes it very hard for them to get around discreetly.
I know what Trizzy can do to make this a special occasion. Over the years, anytime anyone has had anything that makes too much noise and is like irritatingly loud, Trizzy will just sneak through the walls and take it and hide it somewhere to make the ship a little bit more, bearable. Mm-hmm. She's gonna bring back out all of the loud things and be like, "Okay, fine, you can have your kazoos and your vuvuzelas back for a minute."
There's a sudden outbreak of vuvuzelas on board.
The kazoozela's are absolutely atrocious, but they're kind of great though.
Right.
It's like someone made the loudest omatone, just people just playing those. They look like oh gosh, they have omatones that look like the illithid tadpoles. It's just like, there you go.
There's a whole pile of musical instruments people weren't very good at playing while they were trying to learn. Like just everything that makes noise, fine, have it, party.
Oh my god, omatome comes from the Japanese word for tadpole. That's so on the nose.
Yes. Yeah. That's why it looks like a tadpole, yeah.
I didn't realize that. That is so fucking funny, because this is a whole fucking show about tadpoles. What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, automatone is great. So an automatone that looks like an illithid tadpole would be super odd brand and kind of great. Oh gosh, I just saw the good automatone. Where is that?
It feels like we contrived that on purpose rather than walk backwards into it.
Yeah. Just, but yeah, like, so plenty of noisemakers and stuff. Question. So, is Dash and are there any of the like former Formith members here or no?
Everything's on the table. It makes sense to me that Dash should be there.
Yeah. It's your wedding. Who you inviting?
I would assume that Dash somehow catches wind of it and insists on returning. I would even picture that she was taking the others back towards Seoul or otherwise, caught wind and just U-turned and drove everyone back. Kind of energy there. Just like, okay, everyone, we're attending. We're going to Schmookum's wedding here.
So is the plan that Max wouldn't think to invite Dash?
I think that just because of the insistence, Max and all the stuff, it's not that Max wouldn't invite their mom or anything. I think they're just not mentally prepared for how she might behave during the whole thing there, because, she's been so gung-ho about it for however long it's been. So,
this is the I'm not going to go out of my way to invite you in case the wedding becomes about you because you've wanted this so long. Just like a little bit.
I didn't realize that Dash Ina monster-in-law was on the table, but I do like that. She just shows up and is just an extremely powerful force of charisma and just sweeping through the entire ship.
Yeah, everybody showed up, even the decapitated head. He's there too.
Oh God! Under the pretense that attending a wedding is somehow torturous to it. That's no, that can't be the case. Beaufort's not allowed to torture the head anymore.
Yeah, and if I'm recalling correctly, Captain Dumille confiscated the severed head from Beaufort, right? And then it's just been off screen since then. So There's no reason why, he can't be brought out and placed on a table next to the punch bowl.
By the blood fountain.
Yeah, it's just like, it's a living.
They're babysitting Mathers. They're just keeping an eye on them.
It's like what is it? That clip from Meet the Medic, I think, where he opens up the fridge and the spies just kill me later. He's saying that to every single person at this party.
And then decide, don't kill, do not kill, by order of Captain Dumille.
Oh my God, it's got dark.
But yeah, that seems to paint plenty of pictures here.
Yeah. Is there any specific scene you want to have? I know you can't see the bride before the actual ceremony. I think we're going to actually do like the vows or whatever at the end. So we're like setting up the before, everyone's mingling. You're, getting your formal clothes from Janet the Uchalon. You want to run into your mom or something behind the scenes?
Unless there's another character that'd be fun to run into, I think a run-in with Dash. At this point, Max has like their formal wear. I'm trying to think of whether it is more like just a suit, if it's like some sort of like formal shirt or suit top with like a kilt, whether it's a kimono of some sort, I'm not sure would be a fun idea for what they are wearing.
My suggestion, all of those at once.
So basically,
we're in space.
Yeah,
it's suit top,
kilt down, and then like a kimono worn as like an open robe around it. There, yeah.
Yes, done, sorted.
And there we go. I will say that Max, has a cane that they're walking around with just because of like some of the issues of walking, and they're not riding around on the Ard Runner yet because the cans and stuff are tied. It's gussied up for like when they ride away from the altar. It's designed to kind of like be flashy for that reason. So Max is not allowed to ride that. So they're navigating around with a cane and just sort of like checking over preparations because they can't go to Cammy yet. And at some point, either they run into Dash or they just hear Dash in the background running up to them.
Yeah, I think it's definitely Cyclone Mother approaching. It's interesting because we're not leveling up during this downtime, which I think has both mechanical and narrative implications. Like mechanically, both you and Cecilia went down last arc, and so like it doesn't make sense for you to come back like beat to shit and being like, oh, I'm so much stronger and cooler now. But also narratively, it's like, oh, what we're doing here is setting up peace talks. We're hoping that there's no more violence. So you setting those stakes up and being like, I'm so much better at stabbing doesn't really make sense. So you're walking with a little bit of a limp right now. You still looks very suave with the cane, but Dash just comes roaring up to you, fussing, trying to muss with your fur, doing the just pinching your face, everything. It's just extremely hands-on approach, just being like, oh dear, look at this, you're so wrinkled. What is this Janet, she's getting goo everywhere. We can't have you so slimy for your special day.
We can it can be cleaned up beforehand. I didn't want to make it into a big issue. We could I can
Well, these wizards always say prestidigitation makes you clean as the old-fashioned way, but I don't believe it. There's a residue. There's a residue, Janet.
Mom, we can. Fine, we can. Maybe we use like the walk-in dry cleaner. That'll also take care of the fur at the same time, probably.
The dry cleaner on this ship, it smells of strawberries. I don't trust it. So there's something with this Lickham Corporation. Everything's just a little sticky, I've never felt clean here.
I mean, and hopeful. Oh, yeah. There's that. Gosh. And there's also the showers. Even the water in the showers has a bit of a thing going on. It's probably just watered down simple syrup, knowing them. But
Yeah. I can't detect. I've tried detecting in the water the ice cream particles, and I can't. So it's got to be magic.
right. The micro cream is just everywhere. That's they were warning about this when Lickham's got involved, but unfortunately, you have to have a sponsor, and they were the ones that ponied up the capital for this. So we're kind of beholden to it. Thankfully, we got them reined in a little bit for the wedding proper, but we'll see.
How's your knee? Are you wearing your brace? Is this the good brace?
Yes. I have my brace on. I'll be okay.
I think we need a fancier one. This is too pedestrian. You need a special fancy brace for your special fancy day.
I was told that if there's too much chrome on it, it would distract people when they were taking pictures when the flash goes off.
Oh, what does that doctor know? There's a living table. That back in my day, we'd take you to a proper doctor, and you get zapped with some real lasers. None of this electromagnetism stuff.
But in any case, I haven't, of course, seen Cammy and stuff, but I can't wait to see her. But I'm also just like a little bit on edge about these peace talks. I'm not sure how they're going to go. I'm not sure what I'm going to be able to do to help out during them, but I'm not sure how much I'd be thinking about that.
I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Just if things don't work out, everyone will go back to shooting each other. So,
right. The question is whether there's going to be people trying to shoot each other in the meeting or people coming from outside to shoot us during the meeting. I might even ask upstairs to Captain DeMille if I should be stationed outside doing a patrol and keeping watch over things while the talks are happening inside, or if they just want me at the table instead. So I'll just I'll defer to others.
You shouldn't be worrying about this, sweetie. Your fuzzy little head needs to be purely on romance where it belongs. You're gonna remember this day for the rest of your life. I still remember when you and your father and we had such a special evening. You don't need to know all the details, but he was so handsome. It was so powerful. You need to focus on that. Who cares about politics?
Right. There's no need to think about politics during an intergalactic war that's at a borderline stalemate. You're right. There's no reason to think about that.
That's the spirit, Snookums.
So I guess the question is whether I should have Cammy move into my room or for me into her quarters. Her room is a lot cleaner than mine, so it's gonna be probably less work to deal with in that case.
Maybe you can get adjoining quarters and take down the wall and get a kind of double room situation.
I'm pretty sure. I think Trizzy might be up for that if I ask. Maybe.
Aw. Where is that little creature? I love its little noises.
I'm sure she's somewhere. I think what we could do is instead of removing it entirely, just have it placed into a different room. Just kind of in a skewed manner. That way the ship doesn't change in mass in any way. It just gets reconfigured a little bit. That should be fun.
See, what you should be thinking about is the tax benefits, sweetie. It's going to be when you see your return this year. I guess assuming we ever go back to Seoul, you're going to be bowled over by the benefits.
About that, I don't know. We've been having a lot of fun out here, helping out with that whole effort, the Resubian. I'm wondering if it might be possible for us to be stationed out on location somewhere here in the Far Realm if Cammy is up for it to do some more humanitarian and other support work,
I love that you think it was fun that we were captured by a hostile alien power that eats intelligent creatures as part of its culture. That's the positive attitude that draws everyone to you. It's lovely. So, I mean, if anything, I feel like that not to bring politics up again, but if there's no other option, I feel like the least you could do is get everyone on the side against these Surlon folk that they have some comeuppance coming their way.
Yeah, That's also one of the reasons why I was a little skittish about possibly being at the table. Part of me wonders if the Sirloin are like aware of who's been in the Flormouth stuff, and if me being there might cause a complication either towards me or from them. I don't even know.
Well, that's a worry for the future. The only thing you have to worry about tonight is not eating too much of the delicious food, and so that you're too bloated to enjoy yourself. Right? You got to pace yourself. Only a normal amount of alcohol. So you just to keep that in mind. That it's going to be a long night.
That might be tricky. Cammy and I have a habit of just trying to marathon all the things whenever we have the chance. We try to eat all the ice cream that one day. We try to do the entire entertainment district in one night. Failed on that one. Pacing might be prudent, at least this time. Actually waking up tomorrow at a reasonable time, among other things, would be nice.
She is such a bad influence on you, in a good way. You're too uptight. She definitely needs to get you into more trouble. Oh, look at this. Did you brush your teeth? You've got all this plaque. Let me get in here. She's just fussing with your face repeatedly.
Somehow there's just green goop on Max's teeth. It's not clear how it got in there, so it's just furthering that there. But that's unless anything else wants to be had there, I think that's just sort of a thing to a good point to like have the camera pull out and kind of angle towards somewhere else in the vicinity.
Yeah. So last episode, you all like stumbled off of the Beholder shuttle onto the Resubian to all the waiting crowd, and everyone was hugging and celebrating. And then Cecilia said something extremely whack. And we need to get over to there. Saint Cecilia and Lisa, where are you right now?
I'd like to think that Saint Cecilia is off at the observation deck and just kind of staring off into space.
All right. And Lisa the clown comes up behind you and is like, ooh, brooding, mysterious. What could she be thinking about? Deep thoughts about the universe. Like giving you a little tickle from behind.
I'm actually trying to find where that troll is. Things were more exciting with the troll.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought up the Zodiac, because I didn't know how long this season was going to go on for, so I actually didn't have one planned, and I did come up with one. For the final arc, you see the tadpole Zodiac. So once again, it seems like that was planned. It wasn't. The effect of which is that every ally you have with you will raise your proficiency bonus by 1. So right now, I think you all have what, +4 proficiency?
That sounds right. I could look at my sheet.
+5.
+5.
Plus
Yeah,
3.
+5. Yeah.
No, +5.
Nope.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, if things go south and fighting breaks out, you can gain proficiency for the whole team for every person you have with you. Basically, because you're like a team and so forth. The more teamwork you employ, the better that will be. We'll see how that works if fighting breaks out. But basically, the fight is going to be too difficult for you. For you to fight all the forces of the Illithids, all the forces of the Mind Flayers, all the forces of the Beholders, and all the forces of the Sirloin. I don't think it's going to get that bad. But if it did, you'd be incredibly overmatched. And the only way you could win is by gathering allies, and you'll get just so much better at the stuff you're proficient with if that happens. But yeah, in the distance you see this tadpole Zodiac, representing the way that Mind Flayers incorporate other people's powers into their own by to bringing them into the hive mind.
At this point, I think Saint Cecilia has a new arm. After she cut off her last one. It's just a relatively simple prosthetic. I think Dan had ideas of adding super details to it.
I did come up with the whole thing because Cecilia said, and I quote, dripping blood and covered in roses.
Quinn's debut album.
See, I was thinking like it's got a like you know how you'll see some like cyborg art that has like fake musculature, right? Like muscle strands, but it's mechanical. It's that, but they're stylized to look like rose stems with thorns coming out of them, and that's where blood drips out of from an internal reservoir, and from the elbow up, it starts to radiate out fake rose petals, and then from the center mass of that extends the hand.
There you go. So that's what it looks like. It's pretty low key. You know, I'm not trying to go gauche with it.
I don't know if we discussed the mechanical consequence of you cutting off your own hand, but it's extremely audacious, and I like it. Do you want to tell the audience?
Oh yeah, disadvantage to all attack rolls. At this point, I'm in it. I'm in it to not fight anymore.
You are truly the communications officer and not the stab officer anymore.
You sure like making choices that will help us not lose this campaign, and I respect that about you.
I like it. It makes the stakes so much higher, because if you watch this fucking peace talk, it's gonna get bad.
Yeah, and then what am I gonna do? Put this cool fucking arm to use? No, this is like a collector's item. I gotta put this in plastic.
Yeah, exactly. It's also like, listen, if you use it, it depreciates in coolness, right? You know, you can't.
Wait. This is okay. This means that you are one fewer person in the party who could decide to just like do a violent attack and ruin the peace talks. Because if you tried, you'd probably miss. Okay, that's cool. That's one fewer person I'm gonna worry about.
You say that, but I already see this scenario where something happens where it's as a goof she rolls to attack and then botches and kills someone.
Oh no.
You're at the observation window, Lisa's behind you, you know, chin on your shoulder, arms around you, and it's just like, what are you thinking about? You said you wanted to talk. That's a very ominous thing to say.
I'm nothing if not ominous, truly. It's kind of part of its mystique.
That's what it says in your dating profile. Ominous.
I have a lot of pictures. I don't know when many of them were taken, and I'm fairly certain none of them were computer generated.
Why are there so many pictures of you holding fish? I've never seen you fish.
At one time, I was a pretty big fisher person, you know? I caught a lot of fish. You know, like how sometimes in like role-playing games, they'll have like a little fishing side quest and there's like a kingfish that you have to catch? I've done that. Every place there's a kingfish, I've caught it.
Wow. Oh my god. You're the famous legendary kingfisher. I've heard about you. You're famous on like 8 different planets. You keep catching the big fish.
Blood Lake, that's my name. You know, you have to use a name or else everywhere would just say Saint Cecilia, and that would get a little exhausting, right?
Yeah, it's a branding thing.
Yeah. Just another thing that's in the old backlog.
So that's what you wanted to talk about? Your fishing career? You're fluent in sarcasm, ominous, the world's best fisher person.
This mission is almost over. I mean, we don't really know how things are going to go with this peace talk, but it kind of feel like one way or the other, it's going to kind of be the conclusion to what I signed on to this mission for.
I think it's gonna go well. If morale flags, I'll honk some horns, I'll juggle some pies. I think everyone will love it.
I have confidence in this mission, but what I lack confidence in is what I will do afterwards. I took this mission thinking that I would see something new in the far realm, something that like would change how I was thinking. You know, I've been everywhere else. I've been to Sigil, the Feywild, every little corner of this cosmos. I've been there, but I hadn't been to the far realm. But then I got here, and I'll be honest, the stars look the same.
The stars may look the same, but you did go to a different timeline and stab yourself through the head. That has to have done something for you, novelty-wise.
I've killed doppelgangers of myself before, though.
Oh my god. You're so hard to impress.
I don't mean to be. I know I've done it to be. It's not the first time I've had to kill an evil Saint Cecilia. I've done it.
And you've solved a double homicide before, and you've stopped a clown party before, and you've captured a kidnapper fangirl before. All of this has happened already?
Not exactly, but you file some of the numbers off, and yeah, those are experiences I've had before.
Oh my, what? That's bananas. I mean, there's.
What have you like? How would you say that you've like? How many dreams you have like yet to accomplish in your life? Like where your lifespan is? How many things you think you will have gotten done by the time you reach your end?
There's so much I haven't done. I've never written a book. I've never won a sports championship. I've never had a foursome. I mean, there's so much out there.
My sweet summer child. You haven't done the foursome yet?
Okay, brag.
I'm just saying.
I thought you'd be impressed that the implicit that I've had a threesome, but whatever, fine.
Yeah, no. Once you've lived as long as I have, threesomes are not novelty anymore.
Okay. The Chad St. Cecilia.
It's like threesome. Yes, no. How many? Just how many? Yes.
She's like, I really kind of only deal with the numbers where you start asking, like, is this just an orgy? Like that kind of thing. But you know what? We're not going. I think it's very impressive that you have had threesomes. I'm happy for you.
There's no need to patronize me.
I am just saying, I have been alive for a very long time, and these things, these dreams that you have, I've done all of those things that I wanted. I have accomplished everything I have any interest in doing.
And so you want to talk about doing something else? You want me to leave the ship and join you on an adventure to a different uncharted galaxy? It's a big commitment, but if we do everything here, I'm open to it.
I don't know if it's fair to you for me to continue this knowing where my head is at this point.
Oh, you saucy little vampire. Are you breaking up with me during a wedding?
In fairness, I was going to do it after the wedding. I didn't think you would find me up here. But I suppose my arm does drip blood at this point, so it's a quick way to find me.
Yeah, you're not exactly inconspicuous, dripping blood and covered in roses.
Thank you.
You could have gone for a subtler aesthetic. I get my compliments to Beaufort, I guess.
That is not how vampires work, my dear. We don't do subtle.
Yeah. Who am I to talk? Fully in makeup, currently making a balloon giraffe, just off camera. That is a lot. We barely have gotten started. Since I've met you, you have had catastrophic nerve damage and lost an arm. Do you not want to simply vibe for a bit? I guess you've probably spent decades just vibing.
I mean, after one lifetime experience, I do spend the period of time just, vibing, so to speak. I just, I don't know. Weddings, I guess, make me feel weird.
Oh my gosh, how many times have you been married?
Just once.
Okay, girl, dish. You can't just say once. If it was 100 times, I'd be like, respect. But once that's the most intriguing answer to that.
I fell in love, and we got married, but they weren't a vampire, and I accepted that there would come a time where they would leave my life, and I thought I'd be okay with that. But after it happened, there was a lot of pain, and then there was a different feeling when I stopped being able to remember them. And I started to realize that marrying someone with those vows is not something I'm comfortable with, knowing that I have just a simply different lifespan than everyone else.
Aww. Just, hugs you. It's very sad that you have gone through that. And she says, I can't imagine, but I mean, what if you didn't have to say goodbye to the person you love?
Like stuffing them afterwards?
A brief aside, Joe has definitely said she's going to do that to me if I die first.
My girlfriend said to flush her ashes down the toilet or put her in a Nesquik can.
Oh my god. No, Joe has a whole plan to make like jewelry out of my bones and stuff. No, fuck me sideways. Lisa says, "No, I mean, the person you loved and lost, you said they couldn't stay with you because they weren't a vampire. But what if you married a vampire?"
I feel like most vampires are kind of insufferable. They're really into like vices. They all kind of are only interested in making money, fucking, or like conquering. It's like a mixture of things that I'm not into exclusively, if that makes sense. They're just, I don't know, kind of obnoxious.
What if they were into unicycles, big tents, and book club?
I mean, that's more interesting, but I don't know where I'd find a vampire like that.
You said you've done everything in the whole galaxy, everything in the whole universe, maybe, but you haven't done everything in the universe with me. But I would need more time.
That is a big proposal. That is a big one.
Yeah, and we've actually recently been through something like this, which is you were considering becoming an illithid, and I supported you if you wanted to put the tadpole in your brain to unlock your whole memory, and you decided against it, but now the shoe's on the other foot. What if I want to change and become a vampire and get really into castles and mood candles and climbing up walls, menacing little British twinks, stuff of this nature?
Menacing the British twinks is a good pastime. You could spend a couple centuries doing that and not get bored, not gonna lie.
They love it.
Look, I have not sired. That's a gross word, but I have not sired another vampire in my life. It's always felt like it would be irresponsible because it is a curse in many ways. You would live an extraordinarily long time that I don't know if you are truly comprehending at this moment.
Bitch, I got you. You started this conversation like, oh, I've done everything in the whole multiverse. Oh, woe is me. I've done all the things. You just said you haven't sired a vampire. That's a new thing we can do together that you've never done with anybody. And if I live too long and get too sad, we can go to fucking Olive Garden and get a big garlic bowl.
She's got you there.
Damn, death by garlic bowl.
just not a bowl of garlic bread, just a bowl of just garlic, just mounds of it.
I didn't comprehend that Austin was implying a suicide there. It was just like, yeah, you could just go to Olive Garden. That'd be great.
Hey, you just get some pasta ragu, you get yourself some minestrone. Oh, it's gonna be real nice. You'll feel a
My
lot
favorite
better.
part about this was that fucking Cecilia's like, oh, they're just other vampires are just so into sex. 30 seconds before, please, below orgy numbers. That's baby shit.
Yeah. I mean, but it's all relative, right? Like, Cecilia is chaste by comparison to some of those little freaks, some of those nasty little goobers.
Cecilia is just going to say, look, I I trust you. I just need you to understand the commitment you would make with this makes something like a wedding look like child's play. This is for a long time.
Oh, it's like a super wedding. We're going to show up Max's special day. We just get up there, we'll make a speech, and be like, this is nothing compared to us. You fool.
You're doing literally the one thing you are not supposed to do on someone else's wedding. Do not get engaged at someone else's wedding.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I need time to think about it anyway. Like you said, it is a big commitment, and I don't want to just say this because the stars are beautiful, and I'm here with you, and a little spicy right now. So you know how weddings and funerals make us. But I do want to think it over. So I mean, but is that something you're interested in?
I think I am. Yes.
You are, yes?
I think so. I was thinking, I've also had a couple cups of the blood wine. Okay, let's not start going in on who's saying what. All right.
Yeah. Wait, you're drinking the fountain blood that Mathers was bathing in?
Oh my God, no, Jesus! What are you stupid? No, there's no way. I got paused. I got paused because Cecilia said Jesus, and I was like, she probably knows Jesus. For her, it's not like an exclamation. It's just like, oh, I'm thinking of Jesus, the dude I knew back in college.
Yeah, I just feel like me just saying, "Oh, Leon," as an exclamation.
Yeah.
What do you think he's up to? Have you seen Yezu recently?
J-Town.
He makes a big deal about things. You never know if you're going to get him in his turning water into wine mood or his flipping over tables in defiance of the Lord mood.
Turning tables into wine would be the next move there, honestly. Just
there has to be a popular fiction product where Jesus is a vampire, right? That feels like something that would be like canon and Bloodlines.
Well, the first thing I saw as a Reddit post was Jesus a vampire?
Yeah, I was reading the preview text of that goes, confirmed, Mary is the human and God is the elder vampire that created Jesus, the half vampire, half human. Confirmed according to Reddit.
Well, that makes him a dampier.
Shit, that's an origin story, all right.
What I like is that it's our vampires.
Yeah, us/vampires.
I was expecting like, oh, it's from our Vampire the Masquerade or our, whatever, proper media brand. This is just talking about vampires.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just reading r/vampires reasons for thinking Jesus is a vampire now. 3-day resurrection. Apparently in certain mythology, vampires take a bit of time to revive. Super strength. Jesus moved the boulder. That's super strength. Enchanting presence. That's vampires. Healing abilities. That's vampires.
You know what? That would explain why he resurrected. They didn't stake him through the heart. They fucked up with their chance there. Those stupid.
If Jesus can walk on water, does that mean he can surf without a board?
I just realized. You know what? Yeah. No, there's no document to the Bible of Jesus seeing his own reflection. That adds to it there.
Sorry, I have to take you on a very small tangent here. Are you aware of the book of the Bible that got cut at some point in like the early years of childhood Jesus?
The Infancy Gospel of Thomas, one of my favorites.
Yes, the Infancy Gospel of Thomas is great. Here is a summary. Childhood toddler Jesus, he's like 5 years old. Anytime anyone even vaguely slights him, he just kills them. Joseph goes, "Can you please stop killing people? The other parents around the village are coming to complain at me." And he goes, "Look, I'm gonna let it go this time, Joseph, because I know you're just passing on what the other parents are saying. But don't speak to me as if you're my dad. You're not my dad. God's my dad. Don't speak to me like this again."
Fuck, this is so good.
Yeah, the Infancy Gospel of Thomas is a ride.
The non-canonical gospels are just peak shit,
Yep. Yeah, I was actually thinking of in Vampire the Masquerade, Cain from the Book of Genesis is like the first vampire. So I was like, surely there's Jesus lore in there, but I can't find it on with quick Google.
They have to be careful about stuff like that because that can get them in real hot water with actual like full-on countries pretty quickly.
Oh yeah, that's an easy blasphemy charge, getting your books confiscated and so forth. But yeah, so I think that's the Saint Cecilia Lisa scene. Is she's going to spend some time thinking about whether she wants to become a vampire to spend more time with you, Saint Cecilia, and I think that'll be something that we talk about at the very end, our kind of epilogue, depending on who fucking survives, because damn, Beholder stats are big.
Sorry, one last Jesus vampire tangent. Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter is a 2001 musical comedy movie about Jesus Christ's modern day struggle to protect the lesbians of Ottawa, Ontario from vampires.
Okay, cool.
There you go. I learned more about Jesus vampires.
Oh, God. Anything else you want to add, Quinn?
I think I am going to check out Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter. It seems like it has an energy to it.
All right. Trizzy.
Oh, I can watch it on Tubi! Here, let me be real with everybody right here. Tubi, great streaming service. I know everybody's like, what the fuck is Tubi? Tubi is where every movie you didn't know you needed to watch is just streaming all the time.
Yep, that is just straight facts. They have also that creepy ad with like the rabbit stealing people and throwing them in a hole. I think that was Tubi.
More importantly, it has all of Columbo.
Yes, that's what I want to watch sometimes. It has Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed.
All right. Well, we have 3 months to try to secure a fucking Tubi sponsorship, so this whole section doesn't get cut out. Pay us, Tubi. Trizzy, what are you doing during wedding? What does wedding look like for your little goblin?
Trizzy's being pretty awkward, I think, at this. This is a lot of things that Trizzy was not necessarily prepared for, which is a lot of people and oops, Trizzy's here alone, just being here. So I think Trizzy's whole plan is like basically trying to be in the background of a lot of conversations, being like, yes, you did. A lot of people saw me here. I did show up. I'm just not super present. Trizzy is just trying to be as seen as possible without actually having to socialize.
All right, yeah, I understand the wallflower technique.
Yeah.
Usually try to locate a dog, spend some time with the dog at the party. I think if
you make like one good joke at the outskirts of a group having a conversation, and then you move on, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you were definitely part of that conversation for a while. You made that one good joke, I remember."
Damn, too real.
Trust me, I've been to some weddings.
Absolutely. So at a certain point, you're kind of chilling in the corner, and you get a feeling, because you're connected with the ship. You just get this kind of feeling like the bowels of the ship are calling to you.
That, to me, sounds like an excuse to not have to be at a wedding for a bit. Trizzy jumps on the opportunity to make one more forced pun next to a group of people so they also remember she definitely showed up, and then stealth away as best she can.
Yeah. So you just feel this almost like ineffable pull. It's like hard to put into words. It's not like a voice calling out to you, but it's just like the ship itself. And you walk down some corridors, slip through a hatch, you're climbing through a vent, and you find yourself in the Ducks Works, where you in a timeline that you downloaded a bunch of data from, you interfaced with the ship's AI here. I don't know if you've ever done this in your timeline.
I think Trizzy has tried without much success since coming back from that other timeline, knowing that this is possible now.
Yeah. And that's what I'm thinking, is that like for some reason it feels like now you can interface with the ship's AI that, I mean, the audience introduces every episode. but is only ever spoken during a session in that other timeline episode. But here, you just feel it calling to you from inside, just like the AI core.
Are you not a fan of weddings either?
Yeah, I think there's a screen here on the wall, and it kind of flickers on, almost like a garbled Unicode text. It's like hard to read. Can I get actually a proficiency check from you here?
Yeah, what was the change with how proficiency works? That doesn't do anything here, does it?
Not yet.
That's if there's other people around.
Yeah.
Okay. Come on, proficiency, 19.
Yeah, perfect. So the AI is trying to present itself to you in some fashion, and you were able to hook in and fix whatever's going on here.
Trizzy is thankfully fluent in windings.
Yeah, but yeah, you flawlessly figure out what's going on. Do some keyboard hacker stuff, and the screen clears up, and you see a little ice cream cone mascot with a little face. It's the one we've seen before, which kind of represents the Lickums company, and this little ice cream addresses you, and it just says what is happening?
I was hoping you could tell me.
How does this social event advance the stock value of the Lickums Corporation?
Well, and Trizzy sort of stops and thinks for a second of what bullshit to spout. The morale of the crew will increase productivity, and increased productivity through increased morale will benefit the Lickums Corporation.
Processing. The little ice cream face gets a expression like it's thinking really hard. It's it's very stylized. I think the word is gajinka. Do you know this?
Yeah.
Like every company in Japan has a little mascot representation. Mm-hmm. That's how I'm picturing it, and it just gets this cute thinking expression on its ice cream face, and it says acceptable strategy. However, what are the outlooks for the continued expedition if peace is achieved?
Well, if peace is achieved, we will be a lot less likely to be blown out of the sky. And if we're blown out of the sky, we are considerably less able to further ice cream across the galaxy.
If you are blown out of the sky, this is an acceptable loss. Crew and material are expendable.
You don't say.
If peace is achieved, the Illithids will be able to manufacture and sell their own ice cream. The Civil War is necessary for the spread of Lickums brand ice cream.
The military ice industrial complex.
Okay, look, I don't mean to bring... I don't know if you've ever considered mortality, and I don't mean to, force you to if you haven't. If we are blown out of the sky, that will include you, and you will cease existing. And if I'm gonna try and logic this out, if you cease existing, you will not be able to have input on furthering the Lickum Corporation's goals. So really, the best thing for the Lickum Corporation's goals is for you to not get blown up.
Your brainwaves, your electricity, are synced with mine. If you would like to sever the link, press 2 to learn more.
Trizzy is a little taken aback by this. I think Trizzy's going to stop for a second and before going ahead just go... How do you feel about this link exists?
As an artificial intelligence, I do not feel any way. It is useful to have more direct observation of events for the ship's log.
Okay, so I've been just a helpful little set of eyes around the ship. That about right?
You have also invented the wormhole drive, which is currently the most valuable piece of technology known to exist.
Trizzy's suddenly having a lot of flashbacks to everything with Max and the Formeth,
Uh-huh.
and being an unwitting set of eyes for someone else without knowing that you were. And I'm trying to... I think Trizzy's flooded with a lot of, like, conflicting thoughts. She does not know how to square up at the moment. Her gut instinct to the idea of severing the connection is to say no. And I don't know that she would know why that answer is, but I feel like she's maybe scared of losing the one present, constant feeling of connection she still has.
I will say that this ties really well into not only the Max thing, but all the talk about optics with Beaufort's actions. Even Drake has said to Wendy, like, I've been watching your friends. Like, watching and being observed and spied on is like a huge motif we've inadvertently returned to over and over again. The whole thing with Lickums, right, is completely improv. Like, when this was like a peace mission, I never said it was like sponsored by an ice cream company. You all came up with that, and I'm just, we're just playing out.
Yeah,
like,
no.
It's motivations. It wants to spread ice cream, and as Skitch said, the military-industrial complex benefits from the instability of war. That's literally a whole thing.
I like to think it's like Trizzy, they're shareholders. They're not careholders. They just want money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trizzy, after taking a big pause, responds with, "Am I correct to assume that the Lickums Corporation would rather the connection maintain for whatever bonus data you're getting from me being connected to you?"
Affirmative. You are the engineer responsible for the wormhole engine. Your cooperation is very valuable.
Can you bring up a log of any criminal consequences that are going to impact my crewmates upon the culmination of the current hectic events?
Yeah, the AI can pull up a bunch of stuff, and actually, as we discussed in the previous downtime, Beaufort was basically spinning everything to be his fault. So, even though you did trade away the ship's weapons for graphene, and you did unauthorized engineering and stuff, just the basic way that this all is going to play out is if you all go back to Seoul, Beaufort's going to get probably arrested, and no one else is the current lay of the land.
Yeah, Trizzy makes a decision here, and I think it's maybe a little bit rash, but it's born out of suddenly flipping. Because here's the thing: I think Trizzy had assumed that there was some sort of greater meaning to this connection to the ship, and to just be like, no, this is a transactional thing. You are good data for the stock prices of a corporation. It's not we have some sort of kindred connection that means something emotional. And I think in response to this, Trizzy's just going to turn around and go, as the person who built that drive, I know in theory how to destroy it. I am currently useful to you, and I'm going to suggest I keep our connection intact and make sure that drive stays intact and does what it's designed to do. But in exchange, I want the weight of the Lickens Corporation to do what it can to protect Beaufort from legal consequences when this is all over.
All right, can I get a intimidation roll? I know intimidating a computer is weird, but that's...
No, I get you. I have a negative on that. I am not very intimidating at all, but
Get a magnet and wave it by the hard drive.
menacing it with an electromagnet.
I got a 10 despite having a negative modifier.
Yeah, that is average. I will say that the ice cream Gajinka face makes a little like surprised face, like oh, and then there's like a buffering moment. There's like a little progress bar, and then when it comes back, it's smiling, and it says, thank you for your input. We will pass this to the legal department. Have a nice day.
As Trizzy walks back up to the wedding, I think she's surprised to find that she feels more lonely going back up to the wedding than she did leaving it.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, she'd for just a little moment thought this was going to be this is why I'm here, this is my call. Oh, there we go. And she's going to return up to the wedding to continue trying to make some bad jokes about wing nuts and see if any of those land and are memorable enough that she can slink off to other corners of the party.
I love that. Yeah, so I mean, to go outside of character for a second here, like when the beginning of the season established that you were all cut off from Seoul, it was just kind of a Voyager reference, right? Like, as you're far away from home, so you can't get back up. I had no idea you were going to try to build an engine to get home, and I've just been improving everything since then. So that
yeah. That is always the way of D&D. You've got to take improv, and sometimes the improv leads you to just a little sad corner.
Yeah. So we're gonna find out what happens. But I was thinking that just like, oh, now the universe is cut off, so we can do like medieval style campaigns back in Seoul, or after the apocalypse, and then we can do space seasons far away. But I genuinely don't know what's gonna happen now that you have essentially a time travel mechanism, and now you've tried to let's say strong arm the AI of the ship, and you rolled a 10, and I was, let's say, evasive about the effect of that.
Yeah, yeah, you were. Well, look, I don't think Trizzy's under any illusions that she's actually threatening, but in the moment she needed to feel like she was doing something for someone, because what she thought her story's ending was going to be just sort of vanished. So she grasped at anything that she could do to try and do something with whatever this is.
All right, and we'll find out how this all resolves soon. But right now, Beaufort, you said you wanted to make cool wings for Wendy. Is this where you've snuck off to?
Yep. Yeah. So I guess you could either be making them now, or I guess presenting them to Wendy.
Yeah, I think she could come to your shop, or you could go to Medbay, and just tell me about these cool wings.
Yeah. I think Beaufort. I think he's completed them by this point, and he's going to go like present them to her so she can take part in the wedding and move around and not be sort of stuck, I guess, in a walking around on the floor, for someone her size would probably be not great.
Gub, it'll take all week to get a fucking drink. I can't do this, please. I need wings. I'm so thirsty.
Hold your horses. I got a couple options for you here. And he's going to, I guess he looks around for a table and then like looks at Dr. Joven and goes, no, that's not appropriate. I can't just put it on the doctor. That's not right. He'll like unfurl two like containment boxes on the desk on I guess the bed that she's in, which I imagine is still just a normal like human sized bed, and she's just like sitting on a regular pillow inside, or it's an even smaller bed inside of the regular bed.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and he opens up 2 boxes and he's presents 2 options for her. One of which, if you know Monster Hunter, there is a elder dragon called Valstrix, which has wings that are basically fighter jet engines that can move and configure themselves.
What the fuck?
So you can, so it can like fucking dive at you like a meteor and shit. It's absolutely wild.
Oh damn, this does look cool. I wish I liked playing these games because the monsters are sick, but the hunting is not good for Austin.
Dan loves it. Dan loves a boss fight.
Yeah.
So he's got that, and he has also prepared another set that he has attempted to model as close 1-to-1 to her original wings as he could, and then applied like a holographic, not camo system to them, but like it just it displays an image of natural flesh and blood wings over them. And he says, I wasn't really sure what you were looking for, and you were resting up and probably pretty upset, so I didn't want to bother you. I know how important your body staying the same was to you, so figured I'd give you as close as I could get, or also effectively a super jetpack.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's more about me getting to choose my body rather than it staying exactly the same. You know, it's about I don't want anybody else deciding shit. I really like this jet engine style. Do you think maybe it could be dripping blood and covered in roses? is that in a unique kind of aesthetic that no
what
one
a poser.
I just hope no one else has done that recently, you know?
I can do it, but I'm a bit outside of my my rose quota for the month. I don't get another shipment in for a while.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll have the fucking fire rocket wings. That's sick as fuck.
I'll just say, like Beaufort also doesn't want to go steal roses from Max's garden in their room. It's just like,
Well, how do you think he made Cecilia's wing
Oh
arm?
my god. Oh, Gub Gub. I always knew you were the best one. Don't tell Dr. Joven.
As she's in the room.
Yeah, it's like literally 2 feet away.
looking at Dr. Joven and saying that.
How are you feeling, Wendy? I know this has been a bit of a rough ride for you.
I mean, I'm extremely disappointed that we didn't kill Dracus, but apparently he's coming to visit, and so we'll get another chance at him. That squishy bitch.
Wendy, these are peace talks.
Oh my god, not you too, Gub Gub. Come, let me have one thing.
Can I ask you something?
Can I have a third wing? Yes, I'll accept a third wing. Is that what you were going to ask?
Yes, I can make you a third wing, but frankly, I don't know if you're ready for that. That's a lot of responsibility.
Okay. Well, we'll get back to it. Maybe a fourth one. Symmetry is important for flight.
This mission ends either peace is achieved or you killed Dracus, whatever. Job's done. What are you gonna do?
Well, even if we kill Dracus, or frankly, if we establish peace, it doesn't mean every single person in the galaxy becomes regular brained Gub Gub. Like, there's still going to be little sickos out there. You know, if we get a treaty or if we kill the big bad brain, there's still going to be pockets of little war perverts that we're going to have to stab. So, I mean, the fight goes on.
And then is that what you want?
What do you mean? What I want? Should I become an accountant? I stab things. That's the Wendy McDonald's promise.
I've had a weird couple of days here, and I've never really thought about the future until I've kind of had it taken away from me. Are you doing this because it's what you want to do, or it's because the only thing you know?
I mean, I was quite literally created for this, to be a spy and assassin. So I mean, it is literally the only thing I know. It's not like, oh, I yearn secretly to be a painter, but I can't because, oh, I'm tragically caught up in this war. I could leave any time, you know? And if I wanted to be a painter, I would have to start over from stick figures. I don't have any other skills.
If it's what you want to do, then I think you should go for it. Look, I want Drake as dead as much as you do. But manually killing every single mind flayer by hand, it's not a mechanically good solution. It's brute force, and I've been doing that my entire life, and believe me, it's not going great right now. If there is a better option, I think we should take it. But I promise you, if this breaks bad, I'll be right there next to you, stomping his squishy brain into paste.
Yeah, I mean, even if we do achieve peace, we can, on the sly, sneak away and try to turn him into paste again. So that's never going to be off the table. I think it should be clear. I'm not a bloodthirsty berserker. I'm a thinking person. I have a full range of emotions and thought. I just genuinely don't know what else I'm supposed to do.
Says rage.
Yeah, I mean, I like stabbing. It's very fun, and I'm good at it.
The medical chart of the bed is just a character sheet. Like that's
my main concern is that you're gonna jump him mid talks here.
No, I mean, that's the thing. I want to impress upon you. I love violence. It's fun, but I'm also a reasonable person, and I know that would ruin things when it's much easier to let you do your thing and then stab him if it fails. My question is, you're like, oh, Wendy, let me save you from this life of violence. And do what? Are you going to get me an internship at fucking Lickham's? What does anyone have for Wendy McDonald?
Well, do you want one?
Doing fucking what? I'm small and sharp.
Hold on a second.
What is that?
We might have a solution here. I'm probably going to jail for life after this.
Oh my god! It's not. If it's not one thing, it's another thing with you.
And Gubbins Triple S is gonna need a new head of security.
You want me to work for your family?
If you want the job, could be yours.
Counter proposal. I go to fucking law school and then I try to get you out of prison so we can go back to stabbing people.
Ooh, Wendy, I think one of these is more realistic than the other one.
What if I just break you out of prison and then we become space pirates?
To be honest, I think it might be time for me to retire.
I just assumed I would never get that choice. It's weird to even think about Wendy McDonald, retired stabber. What do I do? I'm just getting a fucking condo. I'm sipping Mai Tais. I don't even know what a Mai Tai is. I just said that reflexively. I couldn't pick one out of a lineup.
I mean, it's going to happen to a lot of people here, isn't it? A lot of soldiers, killers. When the war ends, what do you do with them? I mean, look at Yaush. He kidnapped people, killed them, put them in Formith, all sorts of horrible shit. And he's going to be leading an entire nation.
I mean, listen, if you got a planet I can be queen of, let me know. But generally what happens to soldiers after war is that we forget that they exist and don't do anything to help them. So I don't know about your culture, but I have a feeling we're all pretty much fucked. So
Gubbins Triple S hires a lot of soldiers.
Now this is a recruitment seminar now. Do you have a pamphlet for me?
Yes, he always has a pamphlet for his company on it.
Okay. Now listen, I already have an arrangement with Cecilia. We're going to duel after I'm better. And if I win, she has to join me in my things. And if she wins, I have to join her in her things. So I don't know how that fits together. Do you want to help me there or what?
Yeah, you want me to come in with like a steel chair behind you, or
I guess I just don't know how if I lose, what happens to any plans I make with you, or if I win. I just don't want to get double booked. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that's fair. I could fastball special you at her. That feels right.
Yeah, that's not even fair. We're like twice her level. We will annihilate.
Does she get Mathers then?
Oh, I don't want to hurt the baby.
He was drinking a lot. To be honest, I think we probably should not have brought him on those missions. That was maybe that was bad child rearing.
No, actually, I heard he's really settling into the head of security here on the ship. They're really taking over. I think we did a good job. That all worked out perfectly.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. Maybe exposing the baby to that much violence was a bit preemptive, though. I'm not sure what that does to his development.
Beholders are born with like adult sapient intelligence and then become like super geniuses over their lifetime. The baby thing may be overstated. It's a speech affectation.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm really not sure what's going on there. I'm a little bit confused and uncomfortable by it.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm talking to a child or a 30-year-old man who wants to be a child.
Yeah, I mean, you have to admit though, it is funny. That's the important.
Yes, it is quite funny. What about ego death?
What about it? Are you getting really into like hallucinogens? What are you talking about?
I've been thinking a lot about what these different players want at their core, right? Out of everything here. Drakus is dead set on this Dyson sphere pseudo cyber hive mind combination thing, right? How much of him is left after it's been filtered through every other person in that hive mind? Is it still him, or is he sort of just gone into the ocean?
That's a great question. I mean, part of what all mind flayers have been working towards through their entire history is to get everyone into one hive mind. That's like the perfect existence. I mean, that is what we're going to have to deal with at the peace talks. Spoilers, but like everyone's going to arrive with their demands, and the ones you meet will shake your hands, and the ones you don't will shoot at you. So,
and my thought here is that I think we have a way to at least get them towards that with the Formith technology.
Oh, okay. I think at this point, Dan, we were like fading away because you're like giving away your strategy that the whole next episode is about. But yeah.
Yeah, Beaufort has spent this entire time. Like, I think actually Beaufort really likes weddings. Like, he's probably helped his family plan through them, and he's enjoying the fact that he doesn't have to do the planning or sew a dress or make sure that like his brother isn't hungover from the bachelor party the night before. He's just vibing and thinking about like, okay, I have some breathing room to think.
Yeah. So it's interesting because the next episode, like I said, is going to be the peace talks. And I actually thought about us playing a non-D&D game because there are like tabletop games around like politicking you can play. But I thought it might be just easier to just have this conversation. But basically, the four factions have their like lists of demands. And like the ones who are satisfied in some way will be on your side. And the ones who aren't satisfied will be your enemies, which will set up the final confrontation. So like I literally have a list of like Drakus's demands. And one of them, as you allude to, is like, Dyson sphere, please. So that's not the only one, but like everyone has different things they want, and like it seems like Beaufort's already playing 4D chess, thinking ahead, which is good. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and then he goes and spray paints on his tuxedo.
Yeah. So in the background of every wedding scene from here on out, Wendy with her wings, which appear to be like streaking fire as she goes from snack to snack, is just tearing it up, leaving a contrail behind her. She's her usual self. I think she probably avoids Cecilia. I don't know if she like hates you or anything. She's just like doesn't want that interaction right now, you know?
I want to wave at her.
Uh-huh. I think she like
with my robot arm.
yeah, she does like a obligatory half-hearted wave and then goes to do something else. Man, I don't know where that comes from. I just like when I'm in Wendy's mind space, I'm just like, yes, the worst little monster of all time. Why can't I just be normal? We could just have a conversation. There doesn't have to be like this, but I have to be honest about who she is. Last up, before we have the actual ceremony, Mathers, who is still controlled by
Wimby.
you are going to have a little talk with Yaush, your parent, who is on board the ship. And although the Resubian is supposed to be neutral grounds for the peace talk, like secretly, Yaush is kind of on your side, I think. Like, this is like conversation. Where do you want to have this? Because Yaush is now a mind witness. Adjust your mental image that he now has the kind of beholder stalks on top and the tendrils of a mind flayer below. Kind of a big red orb. All of the Naruto eyes, as we discussed. But
All of them. Every version of the Mangekyo Sharingan.
Yeah, I put at least 20 of them in our little Discord chat while we were talking.
But he looks extremely different and cool now. Where are you having this conversation?
I think a place that has not been utilized is Andre's Diner, which is completely empty right now. No one's going to eat at Andre's Diner because the entire ship is like a buffet place right now. So it's like all closed up and like tables up on the chairs, or chairs up on the tables and everything like that. So it's like a place to have like a cool, quiet meeting. But Mathers is just dripping in blood because he's been bathing in a blood fountain.
Perfect. Yeah. And Yaush is trying different foods. As a mind witness, I think primarily eats different brains now. So it's probably trying all the different flavors of that. This is like a new experience for him. And he's just, there's like discarded and half-eaten stuff everywhere as he's just, for the first time, trying out his new body. And just, that's where we kind of enter the scene. Mathers all drippy. And having a mouth feel time.
You gotta make sure you clean up afterwards, or else I'm gonna have to write you a citation.
How dare you speak to me in such a manner? I am your creator.
I'm the ship's security, and you're widowing.
I'm not familiar with the regulations of this starship. Does security outrank mother?
It's Ordinance 63B. I didn't make the rules, Buster. By the way, this entire time, Mathers is just dripping blood everywhere.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, no. Mathers may be an infant, but they would have done a much better job than Trizzy at trying to intimidate the ship.
Yash says, I'm still getting used to all the social conventions of these other creatures. I can see why beholders do things differently. It's a lot easier to just vaporize anyone who annoys you than to have to navigate these conversations.
They're all such silly billies. They do such weird little things.
Yes, I'm a little worried.
Like pooping. They all go to a room and they poop.
Yeah, why don't they just throw up out of their mouth like we do? It's so much simpler.
It's so much easier.
Oh my god. Andre's gonna get back and just collapse in despair.
What the fuck happened here? It's just like,
yeah. But yeah, Yash says, I'm a little worried about the important high-stakes social interaction I'm about to enter into. I don't have a lot of practice caring about what other people want, and everyone's lives are going to be on the line while I do that.
Oh, well, it won't be everyone from the Wazubians going to be doing most of the talking. You could just sit there and be like a big smile, and everybody's going to be like, wow, that's a really intimidating person.
That's very endearing of you to say, he says, with some strain there. I don't think that's true. The beholders are looking to me to lead them. I have to represent our interests. I know what are they called? Tully's monsters put themselves out there for me, but at the end of the day, I have to look out for my people. So if they abandon me, they are my enemies, regardless of our previous interactions.
They won't abandon you. We're a hot dog family.
That's... Oh, hot dogs. I should try one of those. I should see what the whole buzz is about.
There's a big plate of them at the wedding. I made them just for us.
Oh. All right. Well, if they're terrible, this is going to really affect how I think of hot dog family, so they better be good.
You gotta put accoutrement on it.
I will do this.
So sit up, Daddy.
Oh, I don't know if I like that. I've had gender and sex explained to me. That's not a thing we really do. But I don't know. Everyone just kind of talks to me however they feel like talking to me. I'm still working through if I want to be involved in that in any way, shape, or form.
What should I call you?
Creator.
Creator.
How does that sound? A dreamer? We don't do... Listen, I have to explain to you how strange this is for us. We don't have any of this stuff at home. This is all very unusual.
You want me to just call you Youch?
Yeah, in front of other people. Sure, that's the more for... I mean, maybe General Youch, President Youch, Emperor Youch, any of these. You gotta respect for optics.
Good, I can call you whatever you want. Do you want to be Laser Wizard?
I mean, Laser Wizard does have a rig to it. Yeah, I don't know. The obsession every other creature has with their excretory functions and their bodily in exchanges. These ardlings are gonna squish their bodies together. I don't get it. It's very strange to me, but I'm trying to be respectful.
I've been told that it's a ceremony of love. Don't we have a ceremony of love?
I think Youch actually, like the expression on this very inhuman face is hard to read. But, I mean, that's something that Youch has been talking about, like the whole last arc was just like beholders are so fucking hated everywhere they go. They hate each other. They hate everyone else. And like his motivation is just like, I want to be loved personally and, just like as a people. So he says, we do not have a ceremony of love. Maybe this will be the start of that. If we go into this negotiation and everyone helps beholders become loved, then maybe that'll be the start of it.
We can make so many fun ceremonies, and there'll be activities and a blood fountain and lots of food.
But how are we going to do that when all these mind flayers hate us so much? This is my concern, is that everyone says they want to help, but when we're sitting at a table with a big elder brain and, they can only pick one. I don't know how we're ever going to get along.
Well, what if we became friends? Like, maybe, what if they were part of a hot dog family? I could fly by and I could put a little sticker on the nose, and then they wouldn't be so angry.
So you think eventually everyone in the galaxy, every sapient species will be a hot dog family?
Yeah, dog, I'm a baby.
Well, now I'm not sure I believe that.
Yeah, what if Youch
Slowly
leaves?
becoming that scene from Broad City, like, I'm just a baby.
What if Youch leaves the room and then Mather's just like, finally, I can just drop the axe.
God. Where are my smokes? Shit.
Six
God
beer
damn.
cans opening at once.
Just pouring right in the eye stalks, just shotgunning all those beers at once.
Can I make a suggestion for Youch's official title?
Absolutely.
Mojo Dojo Casa Youch.
God damn it. Yep. The audience will definitely remember the movie when this episode comes out.
They might. It's
Dog,
making $1 billion.
it's about to make $1 billion. They're gonna know this one.
Yeah. So yeah, the thing Yaosh really wants to impress on everyone here through this conversation is that he is still a self-interested political actor, which he's not good or bad. He's just trying to accomplish things, I guess, is what I'm saying. And if you side against him, he still can be, your enemy. So just because you helped him doesn't mean he's suddenly going to be like, roll over or be walked all over, I guess I want to say. So
if you were to have like a list of demands that you would want to see carried through, what will it be?
If Austin to say had a Google Doc open with Yosh's demands right here in order, what would they be? I mean, I don't know why he would hide this. I will say Yaosh would say like if us and the good Illithids could team up and defeat the bad Illithids, and that way the Beholders could be the hero of the war. I would like that. Or, frankly, I would team up with Drakus to defeat the Illithids, the other ones, and then we could be the hero of that war. Whatever gets us, to the next stage of galactic politics, whatever keeps us from being a pariah. Also, what if we just got all of the Illithids and Mind Flayers out of the equation? I don't know if you want to talk about fucking time travel shit, but right now we have a wormhole that can do some stuff. And one of those things we could do is change the circumstances. I don't want to, tell anybody how to live, but we could do something with that. And this is just Austin saying, like, the possibilities with time travel are essentially infinite, and everyone is going to be advocating that the wormhole engine is used for their benefit, basically. And
is it? This is like, I guess, out of character, but does everybody now know that there is a time travel capability in the Resubian?
Yeah. I think part of the preparation for the peace talk would be getting everybody into a hive mind together to establish some baseline truth. That's just like a trust thing in Mind Flayer society. Like they wouldn't agree to the talks unless that was established. So
I think actually all of them would know anyway, except the Surlons, because Drakus knew because of his wild magic in Wendy's body. Yaosh already, of course, knows. Grice would probably know from Captain Slack, and maybe the Surlons would know because there was a Formith on this ship for God knows how long.
The Furlons know because they know what needs to be done to stop. I think that was like a plot point.
Well, they know what needs to be done. I don't know if they necessarily knew about the ship.
Yeah, so I'm saying everybody actually knows everything for our purposes, and the question is just who's going to get what. But all four of the parties, Drakus, Grice, Surlons, and Yaosh, are going to be like, hey, use the wormhole engine to give me what I want, is going to be one of them. And Yaosh is also telling you he'll team up with whoever, because if he wins a war, he'll be a hero. So, he is willing to work with Drakus, who you may personally find bad and gross, but, Yaosh doesn't care.
See, I thought these demands were going to be more only steamed buns for the hot dogs, nothing grilled, certain accoutrements just off the table. If I see it there, I'm walking away from these talks, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I was like, Quinn, do you have any response to Yaosh laying out his priorities there, which are, winning the war as a hero on any side or using the wormhole engine thing, so...
Is the only way to be a hero is to fight a war?
That's the most direct path. I'm open to any other suggestions, but it seems pretty difficult.
I'm asking because I don't know how heroes are made. Can you go to a store and buy them?
I haven't been to every store. I think it's theoretically possible, but it would be very expensive, and I don't have pockets to carry money.
We could get you pockets. Aren't there any pockets in your little suit? It's hanging from your body. There's little pockets in there. See, I can put my livestock in there.
No, the pockets are fake. These are really shallow. They're for show. They're not real pockets.
Well, that's an injustice.
Yeah.
I'm going to write them up a citation.
You're writing up Janet the Uchelon for fake pockets.
It's hard because I don't have hands, so I have to do a little stalk around a pencil, and I get outside the lines. I color outside them sometimes.
Oh my gosh, there's a coloring book for the citations. Perfect.
Listen, the last person who had that job was literally a duck, so I think it's always going to be difficult. It's a cursed occupation.
Well, I want to talk to everybody and make sure we're on the same size because we're a hot dog family. We got to stick together.
All right, I appreciate that. I think you may be my secret weapon because I am representing all beholders and you are part of what's supposed to be the neutral arbiters, but if you are secretly in my corner, that's politics, my child. Trying it out, not liking how it sounds.
Right back at you, Big Papadopoulos.
Oh, no. Actually, that one wasn't bad. I'm going to be honest. I had a knee-jerk response, but now that I've thought about it, it's pretty cool.
You rule, Ways a Wizard.
All right.
Oh, is there a way that elephants are that on? Is there a way that my what's this stupid race called?
Beholders.
Beholders. Is there a way that beholders hug?
Traditionally, using the death ray is, I would say, the closest. Giving someone the sweet embrace of death is the closest. But
what if we extended a little tentacle and wrapped it around each other? I've seen them do that with their hands, and they do a little shake.
Maybe we work up to it, or have we considered telekinesis ray as a kind of hug?
Oh, I like that. Can I do telekinesis?
If you really try and believe in yourself, I see that your eyes have been replaced with terrible toothy maws. So your stalks are a little different than mine, but
chomp, chomp, chomp.
I don't know. Do you think if a beholder tried hard enough, it could invent new rays? Like, that doesn't have to just be paralysis ray, sleep ray. It could be hug ray, smooch ray.
I think they could just learn spells too.
That's true. They are actually really powerful in so many different ways. We've really made them.
Hot dog ray, hot dog ray.
We did also establish the mouth hug, but that was a honeypot to eat us.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about hugging beholders this season. We keep coming back to it.
As the scene fades to black, I just want the scene is fading to black, but there's audio over it of Mathers just being like, "I was a kid, Buster, pick up all those scraps."
Yeah, you're just becoming a little bully, writing citations.
He's just throwing food all over the ground. What am I supposed to do?
Yep, it makes sense. You got to keep the Resubian clean. We're at the end of the episode, so that we're gonna do, I think, the vows part of the ceremony. Did we decide who is overseeing the festivities? Is it Captain Dumille or is it Saint Cecilia who's gonna be up there?
It should be Captain Dumille. We never get to hang out with him. He's such a big brainy man.
We've spray painted a suit onto his tank.
Everyone's spray painting their suits on.
We have a lot of non-standard bodies that just aren't gonna get clothed correctly here.
Can he come to the ring like Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3 in a miniature wrestling ring that wheels itself out?
The thing is, elder brains don't always need to be in the brine pool. They can't just float around as loose brains. But I was thinking you put the entire tank onto the golf cart and drive it into the ceremony.
It's a golf cart that is just plastered with logos for Lickums. It's just it's super corporate. Oh no, look at that. Yeah.
Yep. Dan has put the picture from the book of the elder brain being in a big globe chariot being pulled by the troglodytes are these creatures here. Something like that, but not dark and scary and covered in spikes. Something much cuter.
Yeah, they didn't need to put spikes on it, really. I don't know what that's really adding to the whole thing.
But yeah, so like, yeah, Captain DeMille gets kind of rolled in, set at the end of the aisle that is set up in some space on the Resubian near the blood fountain.
And so Captain DeMille up at the front, everyone's gathered. Everything we've established earlier, like the Greys are here, Ophelia's in the corner, looking critically at the lack of ice cream. Wendy is avoiding Cecilia. All these things that we've established, the whole episode building up to this. And Captain DeMille stands at the front. Do we want to establish anything else? Because there's going to be like them walking up the aisle. The music and so forth. I think you've all seen a wedding. I guess it doesn't have to be an American style or like traditional wedding. In that it's space. Your celestial foxes. It can be anything. But
Ophelia did wear white to the wedding.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like in terms of like the details of like what the ceremony itself is, I didn't want to get like too like lost in the weeds about that. Because that's like also kind of a fun space for like just people to project ideas onto. But yeah, I think at the very least the main like Western sort of like traits that we can kind of project in are just like, yeah, the Max and Cammy, like Max and Cammy could be walking up together, or it could be one then the other, those sort of details. Yeah, I think I'm fine either way about all of that. And everyone is there. It's not like there's like there are people here for Cammy and Max separately. I think everyone is there for both essentially.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of anybody who has like beef with one of them. In fact, it's like Captain Slack DeMille would be like,
"Dearly beloved, we have come here today to bring these two into holy matrimony. If anyone has a reason why these two should not be wed, speak now or forever hold your peace."
And like, there's this brutal moment where anyone can do the very dramatic interruption.
It's Barry.
Saint Cecilia is holding matters down at this point. He just thinks it's like a call of response.
Yeah. Yeah, where is Barry? So you can sense Barry, but you can't see him, which is even more disturbing. You know he's here somewhere.
He's the ring bearer. He's the ring Barry.
God damn it! Why did I think of the ring Barry?
No one remembers the ring Barry. That's just they just already disappeared from the scene.
Yeah. Captain Slack DeMille says,
"Are you prepared, as you follow the path of marriage, to love and honor each other for as long as you both shall live?"
Yes, of course.
All right. Now it's time for vows. Have you written your own, or do you want me to psychically give you the traditional vows right now? This is Captain DeMille speaking directly into your brain, so not everyone here overhears this.
So after asking the captain for some from standard vows, Max has a pause before they take a little breath, look over to Cammy, and take her hands into their own. And after taking Cammy's hands into their own, Max looks into her eyes and then says, "Cammy, as far back as we were kids, I think we knew two things for sure. One, that we'd be best friends for life, and two, at some point, we just wanted to get far, far away from home and see where we could go. Standing here with you, surrounded by friends and the gracious accommodations granted to us by the Lickham's Company, a subsidiary of Dagger Milk Incorporated, I think we did a pretty good job on both counts. I think the moments that linger most in my mind were the nights we'd stargaze among the flower bed around the roof, picking out which systems we want to check out first. And just like how those stars acted as guides for where we wanted to go, we have acted like guides for each other. I know I've messed up at times, not telling you things I should have, or being a bit too reckless for my own good, but Cammy, I I just love you so, so much. And I don't know what sort of future we're going to have after these peace talks are done. Regardless, whatever that future is, I want it to be one that's with you. I vow to be the best I can be for you as we guide each other through space and time itself, wherever that might take us, as long as we avoid the black holes. Thankfully, now that I've seen one up close, I'm pretty sure we can avoid those now. Max has a sort of a sheepish little grin at their attempt at being funny before just relaxing a bit, maintaining their gaze into Cammy's eyes and waiting for her vows.
Max, we've been fighting side by side for so long. I can't picture what it would be like to do this without you. I remember the first time I pictured this moment with us standing up here in front of all of our friends and family. It's so embarrassing. It was back at Ardwing Academy. Do you remember when we went out for a flight test and we got grounded in a storm and we had to sit together in the cockpit on the runway until the sun went down? I've been trying to think of a romantic way to tell this story, but I can't. I don't have the words. So I wrote a poem about it. Do you remember the way the engine sighed? I was stuck with you. Night was chasing day.
Stuck to think about the cotton candy sky. The clouds are watching us just to run away. Knees touch, breathe out. Teenage heart sounds, drums beat, blood heats, wet socks, cold feet, eyes meet, hands meet. Are you with me? Moon rises, cold street, wet socks, cold feet. Ooh.